Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back again. It is that time of the night where we have to talk about the case. It's the morning. Hello to morning gang and hello to night riders.
Hi guys.
We are here. Guys, whatever you did yesterday, can we continue on that line? The liking, the interaction with the video. Let us continue on that line so that we bring the best. We appreciate you, those who donated. We appreciate them, those who became members. We appreciate them, those who liked. We appreciate them, and the subscribers. Those who subscribed for the first time. We appreciate you guys. So let us, on that line, let us not change anything that we did yesterday, but just do more. We appreciate that. That is motivating. Now, let us start.
And including the messages of encouragement.
And including the messages of encouragement.
We appreciate them so much.
Yes.
Yes, guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for another deliberation on the Senzo Meyiwa trial. It was quite an interesting day in court today. Ballistics expert Edward Sereo was back on the stand for cross-examination, this time around by Advocate Mnisi. Mnisi was ready. Mnisi referred to Sereo to an explanation when he said that there are circumstances that warrant a deviation from the guidelines. He was responding to a question about the booking out of a firearm by an analyst who subsequently does not get it registered in the administration department of the forensics laboratory. Mnisi got Sereo to confirm that he was neither a medical expert, a metallurgical engineer, an aviation expert, but he is a ballistic expert.
Yeah.
And then he read a part of his evidence where he said, "We do not live in a perfect world, but regulations are there to provide guidelines, but they will never be able to cover all future or potential circumstances which may arise." Now, Mnisi asked him, "These are the words from a ballistic expert. Is that not so?" And Sereo said that is correct. Those are the words that were uttered by a ballistic analyst in response to the question that was posed yesterday. Mnisi asked him, and that question related to a ballistic expert. Baloyi objected, saying that it was in response to the question by Advocate Mnisi regarding the conduct of Lieutenant Colonel Mangana, of him collecting the firearm by himself at the Cleveland police station. And then the witness answered in that way that you can't make provision for each and every situation. That was the context in which he gave his answer, and not in the context of ballistic evidence, as his learned friend seems to imply. But this is so out of order, because I'm like, this person is testifying on ballistic evidence. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
To say that it was in a different context.
In fact, he was the one who was trying to confine these people, the defense, from asking any other question not related to the ballistic issues.
How?
So, yeah, that's a man who's a ballistic expert explaining the ways in which the law can be broken, in my opinion. And Mnisi could not let that go. And now we are trying to narrow it into even the judge to the certain context, because of a certain context. This was set in a certain context. Is how your judgment is gonna be to a certain context, because you keep on referring to certain things that interest you. The judge, that is the judge, in my opinion. You keep on doing that all the time. We know, in my opinion, how you are going to rule, but it seems as if even hiding it is hard.
The writings are so on the wall.
Seems as if even hiding it is a hard thing. But well done to Mnisi.
Yeah, well done to him. That
well done to
Mnisi was fire.
For this cross-examination. He brought fire. He literally single-handed brought fire. And in support of that, well done to Ramsipil.
Towards the end.
The end.
That was a very interesting question.
That was the best comeback from the process of debunking that was happening in that court in front of our eyes, in front of Pambuwetu.
So what we managed to find out is that Sereo did not do CMS training.
No, he didn't.
From Ramosipile's question.
He didn't. He just says he did, but it's not clear.
He did not do it. He didn't do it. Mangana did it.
But he's testifying with confidence as if he understands everything.
Well, then Mnisi said these words were uttered by a ballistic expert within the context of ballistic expertise. Is that not so? And Sereo said that he could not agree to that because ballistic has got different areas. So this answer was specific to a specific question that was asked. The context is very important. So Sereo literally listens to Baloyi's objections and then somehow they creep into his responses and he ends up not answering questions. Mnisi then said surely the context was not in an aviation context, it was within the ballistic context. And the judge said, Mr. Mnisi, please, that witness says when he uttered those words, when they were being uttered, they were in reference to a particular context. And the context is that it was being put to him regarding whether it was proper for exhibits to be booked by a policeman who does not go on and register those exhibits at the center, just proceeds in examining them. About Mangana going to Cleveland police station and having taken the alleged firearm and bullets, and he signed for them there instead of collecting them at the reception center, according to Ms. Mshololo. This is the context in which Colonel uttered those words. Specified, not any other thing. And Mnisi said he was going there, but he is taking it step by step, you know. But the judge said you are asking this witness about the words he used, and he's trying to say that it's the context, but where are we going? Once he starts asking the defense where they are going to, you just know that there's something, they are warming up, something right there that needs to be hammered.
Something that needs to be
something there. Once you see where are we going,
yeah, it's very.
What is the point of this question?
Very sad what we see in that court. This is how courts operate on the closed doors. You know, we are being asked a simple question: is this the philosophy of the ballistic division?
Yes.
In South Africa, and then you answer different. You answer with a lot of answers.
And it's really a simple question. Is this the rules? Is this something that you do? Is it in your rule book? And he couldn't. Sereo just made us dance for a whole 30 minutes before answering the question. It's so unfortunate. Well, Mnisi asked to proceed and said, irrespective of the context that I'm forced to get into before I can get into it, literally saying or putting it on the record that the judge is pressurizing him, right? And forcing him to go into stuff that he's not ready to go to yet.
Yes, highlight that. We must see that because that's what is happening in that court. We must see that.
He said, is this a philosophy or ethos that is shared by the ballistic science lab as a whole, or is it just your own thinking? And Sereo said, my answer is based on Ballistic South Africa. We have procedures irrespective of the work that we do, as I have already explained that there may be situations that fall outside that procedure that may require a particular or specific course of action to be taken. Mnisi told him that the question was very simple and repeated the question to him. Sereo finally, or I would say before he finally answered, this was another essay that he gave. He said, I don't operate as an individual. I operate within the system of rules. The answer is that we are rule bound. Mnisi repeated the question again. So this is a philosophy that is shared in the entire fraternity of ballistic sections here in South Africa. Sereo said, that's not my words. Haibo Canal.
You've answered this thing 3 times on a different sentences that you've used. You are even confused yourself. They got you because you thought using the boss's strategy is going to work. Proudly South African.
To the effect that.
Proudly South African, thank you very much for joining the membership. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Proudly South African. Shout out.
Shout out to you.
Yes, subsequent to the effect that.
Oh,
yes, he's still coming. I am so exhausted by Sereo, guys. I'm so happy he's done. For someone who sits down and has to literally, word for word, contextualize everything there, Sereo has been hard. And it's at the level of Gininda, but Gininda is worse. I have to prepare myself mentally before he comes and testifies.
Yeah, you do.
I hope he's not testifying tomorrow.
The energy must be so high.
I hope it's not tomorrow.
The energy must be so high.
Can he come after recess, after I've taken a break? Yo, the answers. Sereo, yo, I've never in my life. A simple question that requires a yes or a no. He will answer it in a whole thesis of a essay. And I'm like, yo, this guy, I don't know what he's hoping to achieve. But today he got the right one. Mnisi was the right one. Mnisi is the right one for these type of witnesses who don't want to answer questions and give essays. He will use exactly what they said, trying to fill in the missing words. He will use it again to cross-examine them further. He doesn't mind. So he said these words came from you. You were the one who said those words, and these are your own words. And Baloyi objected, saying that the witness has already answered the question. So Mnisi asked him, what was the answer then? Because you say those are not your words. What is the answer? Baloyi gave the answer as more than one time he said he is not rule bound. So literally, he's breaking the rules. And that he doesn't operate on his own. He operates within the rules done by Ballistics South Africa. Then Mnisi said he did not answer. He didn't answer. It's a simple question. Would Ballistics South Africa share the same sentiments, or would they say no, not in our name? Then Sereo said, I'm not going to answer this question with a yes or no. I was like, oh my God. What I am going to say is that we are rule bound. Then Mnisi said, okay, thank you. Told him that he will not answer this question.
By saying you are rule bound, it was clear he's saying that what I'm saying is a lot of crap, but I will not taint the name of the division itself. I am sorry. We are rule bound. And regarding the exhibits that are fetched by Mangana at the Cleveland police station, Mnisi asked him, you said you gave these answers in the context of firearms being fetched by Mangana in Cleveland. And Sereo said yes. Mnisi then asked him, is it correct that you said in the circumstances that an exhibit is bought in an open seal bag, then it will not be accepted? And Sereo said yes, ordinarily we will not accept it unless if it's a nature or of a nature that it cannot be sealed, like a motor vehicle. And Mnisi gave further examples that he gave yesterday: a tire, a door, and many other objects which are big in nature. For instance, like a bicycle or a motorcycle. It was being mocked. Backyard Mechanic, thank you very much for gifting others with membership.
Thank
5
you.
of them. Thank you.
Backyard
Welcome
Mechanic.
to those ones on 5 people that have been lucky to get the gift.
So Mnisi then said, so there are certain exhibits that need to be packed in sealed bags. And Sereo said that's correct. Mnisi said, why should those items be packed in sealed bags? And Sereo said, just to protect the integrity of the exhibit. Then Mnisi said, what do you mean the integrity of the exhibit? And Sereo said, just to make sure that there aren't anything that are added or subtracted from the exhibit or any tampering. So Mnisi then asked him, those are the reasons why those items that are capable of being packed in specific seal bags would not be accepted in the event that protocol is not followed. And Sereo said that's correct. Mnisi asked him, are there any specific exceptions? And Sereo said, I don't understand the question. I have already made mention of the circumstances that warrant a deviation. I may not be able to cover all of them. Sereo said, we do not receive firearms for testing on IBIS, and when they are brought there, they are not sealed. I can make an example with another case which was examined by Mr. Dave Pieterse, the defense, a ballistic expert, who was in this court. He said, Sereo, I don't understand why he's dragging Mr. Dave Pieterse.
No, he's not dragging him. He was, I don't know what he was trying to do there. He basically is trying to say, justify something minor with something big. The Marikana issue, we know it was big. Sibusiso Mhlongo, thank you very much, Njomane Yamkape. Siyabonga mfowethu. Siyabonga. Thank you.
Thank you.
With your gift. May God bless you and increase you. Siyabonga cool. So he's trying to justify the quantity that was so huge, that to such an extent that there was like 600 or plus 600 guns.
Yes.
With one gun that came in an exhibit bag that was sealed.
That was open.
No, that was sealed initially because Ruloffs sealed it. And then he comes and justify that with, and he says, what matters is that they were unsealed. What kind of an expect is this?
So also implying that Dave Pieterse was dragging all those 600 firearms without even sealing them. That's what he was trying to imply.
He was trying to make it look like he understands those circumstances that he kept on referring to such an extent that he made an example of someone that the defense has on their team, you know. But also what this did is to prove to this judge that you cannot undermine Dave Pieterse if he was in that case, such as big as Mangana case. Stop, just put respect. I liked it. He brought it, I liked it. It just put respect to Dave Pieterse. Don't undermine him. The fact that he's using CMS, that your so-called expert, that you were so happy to protect him and jump and do all this, allegedly protect him. And your expert does not know much about it. Put respect. He understands both matching, pattern matching, and CMS. Put respect on that, man.
Yes. So he said, made mention of the Mangana case, where they placed the firearms in a trommel case, and they were not sealed individually. So in that case, he said they didn't have seals. That is made reference to. That is why there are situations that he may not remember. Mnisi said, I have just been made aware by Mr. Ramasepile that there were actually 600 firearms, because initially he had said there were 50 or more than 50. So Sereo said whether it involved 600 or 1,000, it's an exception to the general rule. And he's just indicating an exception to the general rule. That's not an exception.
By his
it's
own
a breaking
wisdom
of the rule.
Which by his own wisdom that he has, this declared analyst, declared expert. It does not seem similar to the door example that he made. It does not seem similar to the car example that was made. Doesn't that 600 guns, doesn't it seem like a huge number, a huge thing that cannot be put in each exhibit bag? It doesn't to you.
Bags, no.
You talk about things that are showing exception for the rule on the basis that they cannot be covered because of the quantity and how voluminous they are. And then you come here, you make the very same example as an example. And the judge goes on to say that he said they would bring bullets that are not on an exhibit bag. This judge. I come back.
He's thinking it. Yes, thinking it. When it comes to the judge, Shema, he's on a mission.
He even testify wrong things, but he says he
listens. I listen. I don't understand why Anga was bamba, like hold himself like
foot on the mouth. That's it. Speak out of 10.
Mnisi then said, but you would not equate that situation or that incident to where a single firearm is involved. Here we're talking about one firearm. And Sereo said that is his answer. You know, he was going to be specific and not generic because Lieutenant Colonel Mangana as affidavit was brought to his attention yesterday, and in that affidavit he states the reason why he followed that particular course of action. So Mr. Mangana in his affidavit speaks about how he made those exceptions. Mnisi wanted to know which affidavit this was.
Let me just assist here.
Like 5. Yeah.
Vusutando says, I want to donate. How do I do that? It's simple. Down there, if you're using your phone, there's a $sign. You press that dollar sign, and then you choose which one you want to go to. There's gifting membership, there's super chat. If you want to do super chat, you use super chat. If you use super sticker, you use super stick.
I hope you got that. Then Mnisi said, do you realize that the case involving 600 firearms is very different to the one involving one firearm?
Yes.
And Baloi said that the witness has already answered to say that the number does not matter. It is about the principle. Well, the judge said that he was concerned about this witness. He is an experienced witness. He wants to respond to Mr. Mnisi, and yet Mr. Mnisi is stopping him. I did not see Mr. Mnisi stopping him. What I saw is Sereo not answering the question. And for the God of me, I don't understand why the judge cannot tell Sereo, please answer the question so that we move on. No, he would rather blame.
Have him refer to the Mangana's evidence. Not answering the question, just referring for the fun of it. That's what Mnisi stopped. Mnisi stopped that. That is not my duty to lead you on Mangana's evidence. It's the state's duty. It's not my duty. I'm here asking you this question, and you want to refer on the circumstances that this guy had.
I honestly wasn't expecting him to be that difficult. The questions were not hard. They were not really hard, man. They needed you to apply the knowledge you have from doing your work for all of these years since the 90s. However, because you are hell-bent on protecting whatever is left of Mangana's work, you just it's so obvious that you are.
Yeah, it was so obvious. You are even eager to speak about Mangana. That's all you wanted to do. Speak about Mangana. You didn't want to speak about anything else.
Your actual job, your work, the rules and regulations that you speak about, the exceptions to the rule. Where is the rule book? Where in the exceptions to the rule does it say you can go to police stations and fetch open seal bags or exhibits in open seal bags? Where is that exception of the rule? Mnisi said that he was not stopping him. He wanted to answer he wanted him to answer the question directly. At this point, I saw that Mncube had raised his hand and Mnisi went to attend to him. And when he came back, he said that on the issue of that trommel container, a trommel container where it said that Marikana 600 firearms were placed in, he said, I've got instructions, or it has been brought to my attention that even if that trommel is used upon collection of those firearms, it gets locked and gets sealed. Like shipping containers, they don't just drive around willy-nilly without them having been locked and sealed properly. Those are the instructions that I have been given. So it looks like Mncube is the one who gave Mnisi that particular instruction. However, this did not rub the judge well, because now he was like, this is direct evidence. I hope we will hear it later that they were sealed.
He thought he's talking about something else, only to find that this will bring the judge back to the Dave Pieterse. And Mnisi was very clear. Not a problem. Young and Jwabule, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Thank you. May God increase you. Thank you.
Well, Mnisi said at this point, yes, we will. Fortunately, the expert that is involved is our expert. You know, he was the person that was directly involved there.
It's tough. It's tough, Bafwit. It's tough. It's happening in that court.
And Mnisi said there's a difference between 600 firearms and one firearm. Sereo said yes, but the circumstances are not only based on quantities. There could be other factors that contribute to that. He said, when I refer to circumstances, then we should not only look at it as quantities. Mnisi then said, now you continue to give another explanation. Okay, he was getting annoyed, and so was I at this point.
It was annoying because they defend him. But let us go to this. Thokozisi Luthuli, thank you very much for your donation. May God increase you. We appreciate you in this channel. Vusutando, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Very much.
May
we
God
appreciate
increase
you. May God increase where
your
you took from.
finances.
Thank you.
May you prosper.
There is Shingi Kahungwa. I hope I read you correct. Thank you.
Thank
very
you,
much. We appreciate you. May you be increased from where you took from.
Yes, may your finances
increase.
May God
be there. Thank you.
We really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. So he was saying here, Mnisi, that now he wants to continue and give another explanation. He said, I'm going to ask you if the view you are expressing now is the view that is shared by the Forensic Science Laboratory of South Africa, or it's your own personal view, and you're going to tell me about the rules and procedure. I'm going to request that you bring those rules which state those exceptions.
Yes.
You said that they are voluminous. They can be transported here by a truck. There is no problem.
We'll wait for them.
Continue.
We'll wait for them.
But later those exceptions to the rule, bring them here.
We'll wait for them. It's not a problem. It's okay. Bring them here and give us those things. We will wait because you want to say more.
Oh, Sereo. Well, then Mnisi said, is this a view by the National Forensic Laboratory? And Sereo said that he was expressing a view based on a scenario that was given to him. Now Mnisi went to evidence of Mangana collecting a firearm in an open seal bag, and he asked him, is it not protocol that it should be in a sealed bag? Sereo said that these questions are based on the work done by Lieutenant Colonel Mangana, not himself. He said, I do not have all the reasons that Mangana had to take that particular course of action. I do not have all the details. And Mnisi said the general rule here is that forensic science laboratory should accept a firearm that is contained in a sealed bag. And Sereo said that the general rule, if we exclude all the other circumstances. Then Mnisi said this is a firearm that was tested by Rulofse in a separate case and then placed it in a sealed bag and then taken to Cleveland. There's evidence that the firearm was destined for destruction, but before it could be destroyed, information emerged that it could have been involved in the case that we are talking about now. Mangana went on to fetch it. When he got there, he found the sealed bag open. Captain Mjali said that he wouldn't have accepted the firearm if the sealed bag was open. He said the firearm was in a closed sealed bag when it was in his custody. Forensic Science Laboratory does not accept, and Mr. Mangana is a senior member of the Forensic Science Laboratory. Is that not so? And then Sereo said that he understood. So Mnisi continued to tell him that in these circumstances, was procedure followed? Sereo said that his answer cannot be detached from what happened at what time or at that time.
The guy is just trying to justify whatever that happened. I don't understand why. Why do you make it so clear that you are defending your colleagues?
Yes.
Why do you make it so clear and vivid that you are protecting your
This is a moment where I reflect and I go back to Pinky's evidence and I say, okay, Uzamilu Pinky. Pinky tried. She really tried to not bring her company in disrepute. Because what I'm seeing from Sereo,
it's because the company is independent from the police.
Because what I'm seeing from Sereo, icon. No, just state the rules as they are. You're not throwing your colleague under the bus. You are stating the truth on that stand. And knowing, or rather feeling from this judge, I don't think anybody's going to be charged with perjury.
No. Nobody's going to be charged unless it comes from the defense side. In my opinion.
Charged with perjury there.
If that person comes from the defense side.
If the person is from the defense,
I think they will be charged.
Pursue it while he has let all of these other people go that are for the state. Just let them go. It doesn't matter as long as they said something is a truth, according to him. Well, then Sereo said that the generic procedure in the SAPS was followed, and he said, I cannot say because the firearm, according to information that has been supplied to me now, Mangana did not just go to the police station, take the firearm and just leave with it. He booked it at a police station, which means he completed the SAP 13 or the exhibit registrar in the police station. That is not in dispute.
Yes.
Sereo said, I was just explaining the generic police procedure, not forensic procedure. He said, this is a procedure that a police officer should do. Now he wants to comment on police procedure, and yet there was a time, I think it was with Advocate Mnisi, where he couldn't answer what must happen at a crime scene. The inspector, do you remember him not wanting to answer and speak on what was supposed to happen?
And at the crime scene, yes, you didn't want to.
Manje, all of a sudden, he's talking about police procedure away from ballistic evidence procedure. I'm like, no. So he said that as a police officer, he followed procedure. I'm also going to say that there was a slight deviation from the forensic procedure. That is why I wanted to refer to Mangana's affidavit. Then Mnisi said to him, my job is not to refer to Mangana's affidavit. And then Sereo said, but my answer should not be divorced from the affidavit and the circumstances that are placed there. When Zani affidavit Mangana, because you have your own. Ufunani affidavit Mangana. You want to double check and check and see if your answers are aligning with Mangana, with what Mangana testified to.
Or what he did.
Or what he did. This is about you. This is about your verification of Mangana's work. There's nothing to do with what Mangana did. Okay, you need to stay away from that Mangana affidavit. Leave it alone. Then Mnisi said, my question is not based on whether circumstances are in the affidavit or not. I'm not at a specific point of procedure. And you have stated very well that it was deviation from the normal procedure. It is documented. It's on record. No matter how much you try and justify what happened there, your word that there was a deviation from normal procedure stands.
Yes, there was. That's all you needed to say. Not the whole lot of gibberish that follows after that. Circumstances.
He said that I'm going to request you, sir. You know, sometimes they say experts are called hired guns. I perceive your responsibilities as you're standing there and not that of a hired gun.
Yeah.
Another interpreter ruining the moment there. I was like, what is going on with this? I was like, this is a climax. This is a moment. This is a ha-ha. You know, this is the fireworks. Right here is the moment. And then the interpreter comes out of nowhere and says, can I just ask you to say all of that in any chance? And I'm like, Aibo, can't
I promise you, this guy can only remember mostly less than 20 seconds?
Because it's like, it's burning
Allegedly.
in court. It's burning in court and the interpreter was not paying attention. How does that happening?
He's not moving with the court.
Haibo, it's getting hot and you're not there.
I told you though, this guy always comes when things like this are about to happen.
I was so disappointed. I was like, oh, woman, I can't interpret that. Jonas, when you need him.
We needed him.
Oh, Jonas would have flowed. It would have been smooth.
We needed him.
That would have been such a smooth transition. When you figure a disturbance, and it's like, I'm like, that is the moment right there. The fireworks. What Mnisi just said is phenomenal.
It's fireworks.
And you just punched all of our tires and you left us like anticlimax. No.
I left us hanging there. Thank you, man. Thank you. May your answers be given to you, and also the bag where you took from, may it increase.
May it increase. May
Thank
it
you.
be full. May you never lack. All of you guys, I am praying for all of you. God be with you all. And Mnisi said you cannot justify what happened because you do not know what happened at the Cleveland police station. I hope you are not standing there, not as a hired gun. And Baloy rise to object. He said the reference that hired gun is inappropriate. It implies something nefarious. The witness is under oath and he's here to assist the court.
We can tell. We also can tell that he's not coached, right? Properly. We can see that. We can also tell that there is no senate, there is no understanding of each other there in that court between the judge and Baloyi and everyone else. We can tell also on all that. We see it. We see it. The other one objects. The other one finishes it up. Like it's, we can tell.
He said the witness has given answers in twofold. He said Mangana followed procedure, but there was a deviation. And when he wanted to clarify using Mangana's affidavit, but is not being allowed, he said, we submit that it is unfair. And Mnisi said, the witness is not here to elaborate. He's here to answer my questions. If the state feels the need that there is something that they would like to want to pursue after my cross-examination, re-examination is still coming. So the judge said, are you saying a witness is not allowed to elaborate?
Elaborate on what? Wrong answers. So, because you are an expert, when I ask you the direction from Joburg to KZN, you give me a direction to Limpopo. Now, because you're an expert, we must be listened to. Is that what the judge was saying?
Yes. Yes, that's what he was saying. Exactly what he was saying. And he said that this is an aspect. His professional knowledge and proficiency entitles him to elaborate. Elaborate when he's
Is
not
an
being
aspect
asked.
of pattern matching.
Who doesn't have CMS. And he said, now you are saying that he must not elaborate. He must just give evidence like me. Please. And Mnisi said he will only elaborate if I request him to elaborate. But right now, he must give me direct answers. If the state wants to disclose gaps, they can do so in re-examination. So I don't understand this whole concept of elaborating. Elaborating what?
They want him
When
to
it's their
elaborate
defense.
even if he's answering garbage, actually.
How?
They want him to continue explaining. He can explain for as long as he wants. He's an expert.
And then when they ask him to bring those exceptions to the rules, now he starts saying that they're voluminous. They need the track to be brought. But you're allowing him to tie himself into things that are going to be difficult should they be hammered on. Very hard. Well, the judge said, Mr. Sereo, in this court, you are allowed to elaborate. Now, this is the judge addressing Mr. Sereo directly, And he said a witness cannot be gagged for wanting to elaborate.
So as the defense cannot be gagged. I'm yet to see you speaking or advocating on behalf of the defense. I'm yet to see you. Remind me that when that day happens.
He said if he wants to elaborate, let him elaborate. I don't know what he wants to elaborate and say, but you can't stop him from doing that. Mnisi said that the state will have re-examination where they request him to elaborate. And I also cannot be gagged during my cross-examination. Tata when Mnisi, tata. Viva Mnisi, viva.
It's too late, man. It's too late. We are tired. Honestly speaking, I think I speak for everyone, we are tired.
Well, then the judge said, no, you are not. The funny thing is that you are telling this witness that there's a certain aspect that he's not aware of, which is true. But now he says the affidavit of Mangana was brought to the attention yesterday, but there's exceptional circumstances. Oh, I dislike this word. Exceptional circumstances. I don't like it. To me, it's whispering corruption. I don't like this word. They need to find another word to describe the situation of breaking rules and bending rules. Exceptional circumstances reminds me of politicians when they lie to us.
Exactly.
It's not a good word. I don't like this word. It has a trigger. It triggers me. It's like every time we've been lied to and billions go missing, it's exceptional circumstances
that we
flying
had to
around.
cater for.
Comrades. So which may color his answer. He said the theme, he mentioned that bullets are placed in the IB system and some of them come without being encased in exhibit bags. Well, Mnisi said, I did not ask him about bullets. The judge said this is what he says. Sereo said that he was referring to firearms. So the prosecutor witness judge is back again, disrupting the flow and the process, in my opinion. You know who I'm talking about. Well, Mnisi maintained that the state can deal with that during re-examination, and he told the judge, I'm going to request the court to bear with me as I try to reshape my mind. I like how he puts this on record.
That
how
you are disturbing me.
Every time he disturbs him. Can Bongumalo take notes, please? This is how you deal with the situation. You put it on record that I have just been disrupted. My train of thought.
Your intervention.
Can I request a moment, 5 minutes of silence, so that I recover from being interrupted and being in robust argument with the court? Can I just whoosah? I like this approach. This approach is mwah. I like it.
All is still good in my side. Guys, just like the video. 518 people, 278. Don't forget to like the video. And yes, there might be adverts. Do you interact with them? We're here. We're not going anywhere. Yesterday, you did very well. Then thank you. And today, seems as if you are matching that up.
I like Butumelo there saying Nisi wanted to say F or shut up to Fagazil. Shut up. But unfortunately, they can't say that. They can't say that. They have to put
this
it
is a time where people said
professional.
this is a fucked up situation.
This is the effed up situation. And at the time, it didn't make sense. Now we get it.
When you are cornered, you want to do your cross-examination. You are cornered.
Now we understand. It takes a great level of patience. So Mnisi then said, let's go back to the Marikana example when he got to forensic lab where he registered 600 firearms, but he does not register them one by one, Sereo said. Sereo said they did those 600 firearms. Pieterse did not register them one by one. So Mnisi then said, yes, but the main issue is that he registered the firearm. You see?
That's what matters.
Sereo said, I agree. And
In
he
fact,
said
you
that
know,
the
he's
reason...
even helping with the packaging. You understand? That means they were registered at the certain level, which is package level. That's where they were registered. Not one by one. We understand you.
Then Sereo said that the reason they should be registered is so that they should be able to track the movement of evidence through the system. So the firearm from Cleveland to Mangana's hands was not tracked, according to this if I interpret Serero's answer. So
he's literally throwing him on the bus. And a big shout out to Mnisi for being able to crack this evasive type of witness, in my opinion.
I give
it to you when it comes to that.
Evasive witnesses, number one.
Because you also have shades of your own, and also emotional intelligence. And you know, your intelligence, you put it in your way of crafting your questions. Your anger, you put it in the way of crafting your questions, which is very, very, very good.
Bravo
to that.
And Mnisi said that he felt like his throat had something or was getting dry, and then he asked for the short adjournment. See how he needed to create an excuse.
Buy yourself time. Why not?
He needed to give an excuse before asking, because if he would have just said an adjournment,
and that was a certain moment that needed a bit of swallowing. Good one. Buy yourself time. Go clarify things that you need to clarify. Come back. The time is yours.
So after that short adjournment, Mnisi now picked up with the reviewer of Mangana's work. The reviewers, not just the reo. The others as well are included now. Mangana said that 4 people reviewed his work. Mnisi gave the background and said that Mangana took the exhibit to his lab, and the judge there interrupted him and said his laboratory. And he's like, no, his workstation in the lab. Oh my God. And then Mnisi asked him, is it correct that the procedure ends after one reviewer? And Sereo also said that the person who verifies the finding will also complete a prescribed form worksheet. There might also be other people who just give opinions, but they don't complete anything. This is with respect to those witnesses. Did you see how they navigated them in the end to Baloyi and the judge to say that if Baloyi doesn't call them, then the judge can always call them after the defense's ballistic expert has testified? So they are going to bank them or park them and see if they are going to need them to strengthen this evidence of Mangana. For now, even Baloyi was saying that he can submit, because he's being tricky. He's submitting affidavits without calling the witnesses to come and testify on behalf of their affidavits.
You know what the funny thing is about this thing? These affidavits that he has submitted.
Why?
He wanted to submit. He did not submit, right? They ended up not submitting them.
Did they?
Yeah.
He was so forceful about it.
Yes. What Sereo said is that only 2 people make an affidavit, which is a verifier and an examiner, chief examiner.
Yes.
What is this one now doing of an opinion? What are they here to say? Huh?
And
they cannot be cross-examined. What if they wrote these things themselves? Huh?
It's possible with this case.
And look at how these things are. I think it's 2 people of Nokara, right?
Yes.
2 of them.
2 of them, and one is of color.
Yeah.
So,
and they're not coming there to testify.
So they're buying themselves time, in my opinion. Buying themselves time, because I found it very weird for the judge to say that he can always recall them after the defense ballistic expert is done testifying.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I think the defense must call them,
so that they can further dent this whole
I think the defense must call them.
This whole testimony on ballistics by verifying that Mangana, the way he was not sure,
Sereo is saying,
he ended up
in the very same court, Sereo is saying that only 2 people can have affidavits. What is these other ones doing there? What are they doing there? Initially, they wanted to play that thing of probability. 1:4. The judge then was excited. Now it seems as if even the judge is not happy about calling these people. It's not even a game now. He is not happy about calling them.
And I like how Mnisi actually used it to say that you needed so many people to verify this.
Yes.
It means that it was, what's the term that he used? A borderline case.
It was a borderline case.
And I'm like, okay. So if they call these people to come and testify, then it means it proves or further gives weight to Mnisi's assertion. So they need to think really long and hard about this. So he also said that there might also be other people who just give opinions, but they don't complete anything. He also said that the sheet is part of the case file. Sereo said that that is correct, but I must also state that analysts are not prohibited from consulting fellow analysts. Sereo said the person who does a review fills in the worksheet form. Others can just give an opinion and not fill in the form. The sheet is part of the case file.
Do you hear that?
I do.
They are not involved. What are they doing now?
Being called to court to come and
They are not
testify.
called to court. Their affidavit is being called to court.
Their affidavit is being called to court.
And listen to how this law that is bogus is helping these people to do these things. They are saying, no, as long as you are an officer of whatnot, then you can deposit just an affidavit, and that's enough. That's enough. Who verifies it?
Who verifies?
How are we going to know that this was verified? Trust the same police that we are fighting against in court. How many police? I was going to stand up and say, my lord, how many police have come to testify here?
So many.
How many police have come to contradict themselves here?
So many. We have lost
And today
count.
I'm told that there is a law that says I must trust these people just because.
The judge is going to defend them and said, how do you know that they have not been honest?
Yeah, you bring one, you say, this one said. More about Ntanzi, whatever happened when they were arresting. These are contradictions.
Yes, they lied a lot there.
The other one said they never were there at the garage. The AVL comes and say they were there. Need I continue, my lord? Should I continue that you are saying we must trust these things according to your law? You're saying let us trust these people. What if Konamanje, these affidavits were made just a week ago?
Because they did come soon.
Or not even a week ago, just now.
They were way too fast.
What if they were made by not the rightful owners?
Well, Mnisi said that those that would also be involved by way of opinion, what exactly do they do? And Sereo said that they can only give an opinion after viewing the specimen under the microscope. So Mnisi said, and they do not fill in this form. And Sereo said it is not a formal thing. So Mnisi said that the reviewer is supposed to file affidavits as procedure, and Sereo said that only the original examiner compiles an affidavit. So Mnisi said in terms of the review protocols, the standing view is that the chief examiner will approach his colleague, and if his colleague affirms his findings, then he fills in the worksheet and the chief examiner files an affidavit. Is that how it's done? And Sereo said that the affidavit is compiled after the verification process. So Mnisi then asked him what are the circumstances that would necessitate a further consultation or a further request of opinion from members in circumstances where the results are positive. Sereo asked for the question to be specific to this matter so that he can be able to give a direct answer. Mnisi said it does not work out like that. You can't tell me how to ask my questions. Your duty is to answer my questions. You can't tell me what questions must I ask. It does not work out like that. Instead, it works in a different way. I ask questions. If you've got an answer to the question, you answer it. If you feel like you're unable to answer the question, you say, I can't commit myself. Do you understand? And Sereo said, I hear that. Then Mnisi said, what would necessitate a chief examiner to approach further members to confirm his findings after receiving a confirmation from the reviewer? Well, the judge interrupted again and asked if it's not an analyst instead of an examiner. I don't know.
I liked this guy as much as I don't believe a lot of crap he was saying. I liked him because here he kept on several times when the judge intervened, overruling the judge, saying, yeah, sometimes they are called that.
Sometimes it's an examiner, sometimes it's an analyst. I don't understand the obsession though, or rather, interrupting in the middle of such an important question.
Just to correct a minor, simple, useless thing.
Of English.
A title.
Of words.
That I called you Ratha, not a judge.
Versus analyst. Like, I don't understand these interruptions when there's a crucial answer that we are waiting to hear. You understand? And the judge said, who is a verifier then? And Sereo said a verifier is a forensic analyst who is competent and proficient in the type of examination. Sereo then answered Mnisi's question by saying that once the findings have been verified, meaning that the verifier has completed the worksheet, he has appended his signature on the worksheet, the process stops right there. Then the original examiner can compile the affidavit. So Mnisi now asked him, now I must tell you that there seems to be a little dispute between the state and the defense with regard to what Mr. Mangana did. Nonetheless, with regard to the firearm and the bullets which he took under his microscope, there's no dispute. So listen to how he structured this question, because later on Baloy kind of twisted it, it sounded wrong how he said it, He said with defense with regard to what Mr. Mangana did, nonetheless, with regard to the firearm and the bullets which he took under his microscope, there's no dispute. So there's no dispute with regards to what? The firearm and the bullets. That's what he said. Then Sereo said that he understood. Now Mnisi said now he comes and tells the court that he used the CMS, consecutive matching striation method, in order to arrive at a finding that told him that the firearm that he retrieved from Cleveland is the firearm from which the scene or the scene bullet was fired from. You also work on the same exhibits on some of the exhibits that were fired from the same firearm. So Sereo said that that is correct. And Mnisi said on the test bullet number 8, which you worked on, there are certain issues which were raised by Mangana on the type of bullet it was. Sereo said that he tested all the bullets, settled for test bullet 4 and test bullet 8. Mnisi then asked him, did you find any distinct characteristics that you identified in test bullet 8? And Sereo said he already demonstrated that to the court. Sereo explained that he chose test bullet 8 because he saw better markings and not that the others did not have the markings. And Mnisi said, what about test bullet 4? And Sereo said test bullet 4 also had converging similarities. The transferability on test bullet 8 was much better than that of test bullet 4. So Mnisi then asked him, Mangana said he encountered challenges with test bullet number 9. He said that the bullet was slightly bent and as a result could not find striations at the end. Did you find the same bent? And Mnisi said that it had a ditch. He wasn't necessarily using the word bent, he was using more like a ditch. Did you find the same ditch with the bullet number 8? And Sereo said he could not remember all the details regarding the circumference of the bullet, but what he remembers is that he found sufficient striations. So Mnisi then said he found it strange that Mangana's bullet was ditched, bent, in simple terms. It was bent, and Sereo's one was not.
Yeah.
So this is very interesting. So if Mangana tested with a bullet that is bent and Sereo's one was not bent and yet they had the same results.
Let me say this. This is obvious. I'm not an expert of these things. But I had liberty, Emil, of watching the consecutive matching striation. You see why it is more advanced? It is because it looks for consistency. So the markings must be consistent, not breaking somewhere. Here's a picture. Unfortunately, I don't know how to, but here's the picture of this. This starts here to the end of the bullet, wherever it ends. And
I
then
wish you could. Can't you download it quickly?
Maybe I could, but it would need save a picture. So what is happening here is that the what we call it, the match, the pattern matching.
Yes.
It looks at those marks regardless of where they end. Even if it's a contour, a small contour.
No, I really think our people need to see this. I'm sorry. I really think they need to see this. Can't you go to the system and quickly put that picture, because it's very important.
I'll try. I don't know where.
There it is on the site.
Where?
Guys, please give us a moment. I really want you guys to see this picture if it's possible, because I don't think many of us understand striation situations.
So you can continue. I will try to.
Or maybe it's fine. Or leave it. We'll maybe make a separate video to talk about it. What do you guys think?
Yeah. So what is
we'll
happening
make a separate
with the pattern matching? It looks at the contours. So even if it's a small part that shows the markings, which is where, in my opinion, as much as this so-called expert said it's useless, which is where Dave got them. saying that I can actually be able to mark a small portion in that bullet, not all of it, no consistency, just a small portion, and be able to match it with a certain bullet if I'm lucky, and it will match. That's where pattern matching is lacking. Consistent. Consecutive matching strier, it looked for longer markings basically. This one looks, even if it's short, as long as it matches, that's an answer for them. That's where the differences are
between the
and they're in consecutive matching. There are rules. They are looking for at least 6 or 3 by 2 markings on each bullet, on each what we call striations. On each of these striations, they're looking for that. So on the other side, they're just looking for that small portion. They're like, yeah, side by side, that's what we're looking for. Voila, we got it.
And
but then
sometimes
the theory that later on this guy Ramsipir was talking about, then that's where it kicks in, because this guy Biasotti, I read this thing to you guys, but I'm sure you were not aware. But I guess Ramsipir was aware. Then Biasotti says in an analysis of 720 known non-match comparison of land and groove impression, he found no instance in which the CMS exceeded 4. Do you understand? In 1994, Biasotti and John published their paper and consecutive quantitative criteria for identification using CMS. So that's what happened. About 25%, if you read that paper, about 25% of those, they show a bit of matching at the beginning. And that's where pattern matching looks at. It looks just around that. And then if there's a matching, voila, you are a match. So while on the other side, consecutive matching striation, it looks for the consistent moving of the marking until the end. Not just the smaller nyana count that says this is a bullet that was shot by Emily with her gun. No, it looks for the marking must show that this is proper marking. Not breaking. It must not break. It cannot break somewhere here and say, okay, now it continues there. It broke here. Now it continues there. No, it doesn't. If the line is there, it must move until the end without breaking.
So Mnisi said that he found it strange that Mangana's bullet was bent and his was not. Okay. Mnisi asked, did you find that test bullet number 8 also had a ditch which prevented the spontaneous transfer of striations? And Sereo said that he cannot remember all the details around the circumference of the bullet, but what he knows is that he found it sufficiently to be able to come to the conclusion that he came to.
You know what I also find funny is that I can almost predict that the bullet that Mnisi saw is not silver. That's very funny. Very funny.
Have been not silver.
Yeah, remember I saw a silver bullet on the floor. I was showing
even Tabiseng said it.
That's what that's where I'm going.
He said she saw a silver bullet and gave it to one of the police officers there that were parading there during that time. At the crime scene. She came from the bedroom. She was going to go and drink water in the kitchen, and she saw something that was silver looking, and then she gave it to the police.
And you wanna know the funny thing?
What is the funny thing?
That silver could be in line with the revolver. That's what the funny thing is. Because I'm looking at this one, look at this one. Look, most of these things are silver. But
And
yeah,
now that I think about the movies,
mm,
revolvers, the bullets are always silver.
that silver could be in line with the revolver. Probably that was an original bullet.
Oh my God. Son Typesing was on the money.
It was on the money, in my opinion.
And don't forget that as that was happening, Musia denied that took place, that they got the bullet from Typesing. And Mangana, somewhere, somehow, somewhere around, he was there. Mhlahlo bebekhona. So, what? Well, then Mnisi said, now, immediately what struck me very strange is the fact that Mangana said, when I analyzed this bullet, it had a ditch. It got fired from the same firearm. That test bullet number 8 was fired from. It was struck, what strikes me very strange is that how could it be so that Mr. Sereo decided to use bullet number 8 when Mr. Mangana actually did his test on bullet number 9, and bullet number 9 had a ditch. Did bullet number 8 have a ditch? Baloy objected and said that Lieutenant Colonel Sereo is not Serero, it's Sereo. I don't know, but Mnisi said it's immaterial. It's neither here nor there. I mean, yes, it's not a surname he's familiar with, and I just found it like, the judge is the one who actually called Serero, and there was no correction done there, and then in the middle of a very hot cross-examination, in the middle of a very hot cross-examination on behalf of Mr. Sereo, who can speak for himself, Balo is like, he's not actually Sereo, he's Rero. And I'm like, okay, now that is immaterial right now. I agree with this. Right now, that is not the most important thing as I'm listening. In fact, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed right now because it's getting hot, right? It's getting hot, it's heating up, and you are killing the momentum. You're killing the momentum. And then he said that Mangana said that he chose test bullet 5 and test bullet 9, and that is because of the better mark transferability. He did not use the word ditch. And Mnisi struggled to use a proper word. In Mr. Mangana's demonstration, he even used a spirit level or a water pass to demonstrate that a particular point, the bullet had a bend, and the judge said that he can use the word indentation. Mnisi struggled to use that word. Yeah, it was a tongue twister. He even said it himself. It's a bit of a tongue twister, my lord. But Mnisi then said if it had an indentation, you would have realized it. And Sereo said that I still stick to my answer to say that I cannot recall. I cannot mislead this court and say I saw it or I did not see it. I simply cannot recall. He cannot recall. So Mnisi then continued. He cannot recall whether he saw a bullet that was bent or not. That's what he cannot recall. While he was being the examiner, the what? The what does it call it? The verifier. As he was verifying, he failed to verify. The very same bullet
that was the main issue that he needed to verify. He cannot recall.
He cannot recall whether it was bent or not. Very important. Very important. Then Mnisi continued to ask, your confirmation that was a positive of Mangana's evidence could have been proper because couldn't have been proper because they were working on exhibits that did not have similar characteristics. And Sereo said, I have already explained that ballistics is not based on the fact that the visible marks on the bullets are from the same firearm. Those marks are not microscopically identical. They are similar to a certain degree. agree. What you see on the test bullet number 1 is not a photocopy of the surface of test bullet number 5 or 6. The degree of similarity amongst the tests will show that they are from the same origin, but it does not mean that they are microscopically identical. So Mnisi then said, what I'm saying is that Mangana's bullet had a bend and yours did not. Sereo said that that statement will be correct if we agree that marks on a bullet are microscopically identical, and it is not the case. See how he's protecting his colleague. You know, some workspaces are full of people that cover each other, and this is an example of such. You will not admit, even though they said that every firearm produces a similar, it's like he contradicts his own knowledge. Just so Mangana does not look like a bad person. And it's worrying because now you are changing the rules that you told us about the firearm having identical or leaving the same striations on the bullets is now changing to microscopically identical. They are not.
Yeah.
Now the evidence is changing now, right before our eyes. Contradiction after contradiction.
Yeah, boy.
Then Mnisi said, how could you say that they are the same, that they are the same exhibits and that they don't look similar? And Sereo said that the test bullets were all fired from the same firearm, but because of the transferability of the marks, what you find on test bullet 1, you may not necessarily find on test bullet 2. He said, I'm just making an example. That is why you must consider all the groves that are available.
Let's give you the view of what we are talking about. Here are these bullets. Some of them look like this. Most of them are silver though.
For revolvers.
Yes.
Hey guys, you know, I didn't even think about it because I don't study firearms.
Here is a consecutive striation, as you can see here. There is consistency in the moving of these grooves.
Yes.
There's consistency there. But here they were portraying what the theory that Ramsibir was talking about. But look at the consistency. It's not, you see, on the other side with pattern matching, that thing that looks like a bit of I don't know whether it's like a hillish. It looks like a hill.
Yes.
That's where normally they would end. It's like a contour, a small nyana contour. And if it matches there, you are screwed.
The hill and the valley.
Yeah, you if it matches there, you are screwed. It does not look at how consistent the matching is going. It just looks at the small part and then, that's you. The rules are more relaxed on the other side than this side. This side, the rules are proper. You need to have a consistent moving without a break in anywhere, whether in a hill. If there was a break on the hill, that's inconclusive.
Well, then Mnisi said that I'm going to put it to you that based on that bent bullet Mr. Mangana described, that you could not find, you could have therefore not have come to that conclusion that the bullet that Mr. Mangana said was fired from the firearm that was fetched from Cleveland. Sereo said that that is incorrect. Mnisi said, thank you, let's continue. Would the finding that a certain bullet has a striation or not would be subjective or not? And Sereo said that the marks that are on the surface of the specimen form objective facts. So Mnisi said, in other words, you cannot look at it and say this is not a striation. A striation remains a striation. Sereo said when the marks are there, they are there. The person who views the specimen must interpret what he sees on the specimen. If I use simple terms, what is on the surface of the specimen is encoded and he must decode it, meaning he must be able to identify it, meaning that it is there. It is there, but it is up to the analyst to see that. But it depends on his level of training. Mnisi then said, this is what I'm saying. The mark on scene on the microscope, is it a subjective thing or an objective thing?
Mm-hmm.
The judge said that this witness is saying that the marks are there. The only issue is the decoding, and that will depend on his proficiency. Those marks are there. Mnisi then said, we agree that those marks are there, my lord. But the question is the interpretation of whether those marks constitute a striation or not. Is it a subjective thing based on the level of education of that person or what? And Sereo said, yes, the interpretation, that is the identification, is subjective in nature. And Mnisi said that simply means one expert may see a mark as a striation and another would say it's not. So Sereo said if the other expert is not properly trained, then he would not be able to identify the striation. So Mnisi then asked him, the experience of the two experts is similar. Both can say different things. And Sereo said the other expert, if he uses the wrong technique, but even the wrong technique also goes back to skill. I cannot escape the question of knowledge and skill. And Mnisi said we are agreeing that one expert may say this is a striation and the other one can say that it's not. And Sereo said it may happen, yes, if the knowledge and skill are not the same. So Mnisi then said, let's come to the method now. How do you count these striations that are found in the same relative area? And Sereo said, as I've indicated, I follow the dominant and old method of pattern matching. You will compare the two surfaces of the marks within which there will be the race a part of the mark and there will be the bottom part of the mark. You also study the general profile of the surface. Then you consider the space between the marks. You consider the width, the depth, the special relationship, and that must be similar on the left and right. Those marks must be at the same relative position, meaning that when the marks on the exhibit part are on the nose, then the marks on the test must also be on the nose. Same relative position on the land. You will then consider the similarities and differences. When similarities are higher than differences, then we are able to make a positive identification. That is the procedure that I followed.
This is what they do. But you see, the difference here is that that's a small portion. You are looking at that. These are two bullets, looking at them side by side at the certain contour. Where they found the matching at a certain position, then they run them. This is how they show them on the scope. So as they are moving, the other bullet, which is maybe the test, the bullet from the scene or the evidence, and then they match it with the bullet that they shot. These are two bullets put together side by side. It's a small portion, just a small portion compared to CMS. CMS looks at a larger portion because it looks for those that consecutive striation.
Yes.
So this one looks at that portion. They find that portion, they put them together. But the problem with this is where this guy, Dave, comes in. Says, I can create this, a small portion. But if you go further, they will differ. But if you just look at the certain portion, they might not differ that much.
Okay, this is what he meant.
Yes.
All right. Nice to see it with pictures, though. I won't lie, it's nice to see it with pictures. Bayasincishela lapha ecourt. Bayasincishela lapha.
Yeah, I see how it. Abathandi now. They don't want with them.
Well, then Sereo said, I did not use the CMS approach. Mnisi said, I understand, but you said both methods are not mutually exclusive. So how do you then count using CMS method? Sereo finally admitted that he only uses pattern matching towards the end after this.
That's the pattern matching that I was showing you.
Yes, that was pattern matching. So that's what he only uses. He doesn't use CMS, consecutive matching striations. So Mnisi asked for an early adjournment. He said that he was feeling dizzy. The judge joked about there was too much tea. I don't know what is up with that. We do know court cases. I didn't know that as a lawyer you must be strong spiritually. But then, yeah, the court resumed with Mnisi picking up on the pattern matching that Sereo said that he applied to find a match. Sereo explained that the process of identifying the marks on pattern matching is the same as CMS. The difference is the counting of those marks. And Mnisi asked the reason why in this case there had to be 4 references, Dini, Filion, and Fenter, is because this was not a clear-cut case. It was a borderline case. Baloyi objected and said that it presupposes that these people were approached after Colonel Sereo had done the verification. And he said, we submit, there is no stage at which Colonel Mangana approached them.
A very silly objection which does not matter. It just didn't make sense why he was objecting with the order. We are not talking about the order here. The main issue, the gist of the problem, is that there were 4 people that had to give their opinion. While Sereo said only 2 is enough for them to proceed. But with this one, they needed 4 people to do the very same thing, that verify or even give an opinion, because it was a borderline case.
After the initial findings he got were inconclusive.
Yes.
You should have added that just for extra sauce and spice.
So the objection of saying that the order, it presupposes the order was, he understands, it's immaterial. The order is immaterial. Whether Sereo was the 4th one to be consultant, it does not matter. It should have ended with the person of no color if it was the first person, if he was the first person.
Well, he said that it cannot be accepted as a fact. Advocate Baloyi. So Mnisi said that he will put it as a fact. This argument ensued, and Mnisi argued this need of 4 people verifying, and the judge said that Mangana's evidence is that they agreed with him. Mnisi said that for Mangana, needing those many verifications says that it was not a clear-cut case. It was a difficult case. And then he wrapped up his cross-examination. Baloyi's re-examination started with him asking Sereo that he testified that those who gave an opinion do after viewing the specimen, and it is an informal process and they do not need to complete a worksheet. Baloyi said that during cross-examination by Advocate Mnisi about the handling of the firearm by Mangana, he wanted to refer to his affidavit that he was shown yesterday. Or what did you want to elaborate on? And Sereo now went to that affidavit, speaking on a paragraph, saying that this paragraph shows why Mangana had to go obtain the firearm to fire additional tests. So in his answer, he said he wanted to refer to these circumstances. Well, then Baloyi then said, Advocate Mnisi further put it to you that with the putting of the bullet and the gun under the microscope, there is no dispute between the state and the defense. What was your understanding of that? And then Sereo said, my understanding is that they're in agreement with the positive finding. Mnisi objected to this, which is absolutely crazy. I don't understand how that got twisted so quickly. I'm like, remember when I told you guys to hold on to that?
Yeah.
He said the bullets and the firearm are not in dispute. Somehow towards the end, Baloyi now changes it to something else, and it makes Sereo to answer to say that they are in agreement, that the findings are positive. The defense never, ever
they didn't
say that. So Mnisi then
we
objected.
have 600 people watching. Let us like the video. We're still missing members. We're still missing everything. Please do something about it. Just like the video and then continue watching. We are sweating here. We're doing everything. Guys, please, let's like the video. Push it to 500. Why not?
Why not, guys? Why not? Then Mnisi objected and said that this is not what he said. They are confusing the record, while the judge, on the other hand, said that it is what the witness is saying, not Advocate Baloyi. But the manner in which Advocate Baloyi asked that question is wrong. It's not what necessarily Mnisi had put, and the witness is asked again and he repeated the same answer. So Baloyi said that it was put to you that the bullets you tested were for your convenience, and you answered that you checked all the fire tests and settled for test bullet 4 and 8. What was your finding? And Sereo said that he found a match. Baloyi then said, Advocate Mnisi asked you whether a mark was seen under a microscope is subjective or objective, and you responded yes. The identification are subjective, but you testify that the marks in the specimen form objective facts. You testified that what is on the surface of the specimen is coded and needed to be decoded, and that depends on experience, knowledge, and skill. Is that the subjective element you're referring to? And Sereo said that that is correct. So that was the conclusion of the re-examination. Now the judge had his own re-examination. He said he was asking clarity-seeking questions, is how he puts it. But
see how Rob versus Hepworth does not apply when it could have been the mistake that was made. No, it does not apply to Bumni's car. It applies to the darling.
He said now he beamed an image in court, and Sereo now was talking about how there were 2 marks there produced by 2 different tools that were compared. He said that those 2 marks with 2 different tools were compared, and the judge said what tools? Sereo said firearms. That image was not produced by him, however, by the defense, but they wanted to show that those 2 firearms can produce the same marks, which he said is not the case. So he was literally using the image that was handed by the defense that came from Mr. Dave Pieterse to debunk Mr. Dave Pieterse's testing, of which Dave Pieterse's testing is the one that Mangana may have initially got before he went over there to the Cleveland police station to go fetch that firearm.
By the grace of God, it was not destroyed.
But now he is debunking it to Sereo. He's debunking it, got re-examination. And isn't this introduction of new evidence?
It sounded like it was Baloyi never questioned on it. It sounded like the judge did introduce it. It's okay with the judge, but it was followed up by Ratha. Then I think we are all good. By Ramsipil.
Icon. Then he said this is a measure to show best known non-match, which is found in the theory of identification. But when a positive identification is made, the same agreement must exceed what is presented by this photo, as it can be seen that it's an agreement to a very small degree. The agreement must show by a higher degree of agreement. Well, then the judge said, is it a scientific fact that no 2 firearms can produce the same marks? Isn't it weird that Mr. Dave Pieterse's exhibit is presented by the judge of all people to ask Sereo to compare? That is so messy. Like, I don't understand. That is so messy, but it's fine.
All good.
Sereo then said each barrel produces its own marks. He said that when he compares the photo and the photos that he brought to the court, then he sees no value in that specific photo.
That's where the judge wanted to go. The judge wanted to be there.
So the evidence he asked.
To be there.
What judge, the evidence is that you also had sight of the bullets fired by Mangana. You examined 8, and Sereo said that that's correct under a comparative microscope. Then the judge asked him, according to your opinion, was this a borderline case? And Sereo said, my lord, I cannot say it's a borderline case because the marks I demonstrated here, because the marks do not show that it is a borderline case. And this was it for the judge. Amen. Siyabonga. Hallelujah. But then the tricky part came in when Ramosipili quickly got up and said, my lord, I have, questions.
Is a procedure.
And he said, is that procedure? I'm like, hey, man. Can't they? So now it's no longer procedure.
He's been all along giving them a chance. Now, when they did his shenanigans, Nobody's supposed to answer.
You?
Nobody's supposed to speak once I've spoken. You know, that type of managing things.
Well, he did ask whether he did the CMS course. Mangana said no. Not Mangana, Sereo said no. So it turns out Mangana and Pieterse did attend that course.
Mm-hmm.
And Sereo didn't attend it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it for Sereo. Thank you for coming. Amen.
Bye.
Ichai. Well, then Baloyi now handed up the affidavits of Captain Dini and Grobler. The judge asked if he will call them. He said no. The affidavits merely serve as confirmation that they gave an opinion to Lieutenant Colonel Mangana's findings. Mgomezulu objected, saying that those witnesses are witnesses of the court and the state cannot dictate what to do with them. The rest of the defense objected as well, and the judge said that the procedure is that all those witnesses will be called after the defense has called its own expert. So, yeah, he's putting them in his pocket. We don't know whether that will be useful or not. But guys, I'm done. I am done.
They
finally.
Must call the defense must call them. But I told you guys, I hate to say this, I told you they are not coming. And then you thought I was joking.
Well, there's other news as well. The other news is that Longwe Twala as case or bail application has been postponed to next week, Monday. Apparently, he has a legal aid lawyer. His legal aid lawyer was not there in court. So, bail application will likely proceed on Monday.
What are
Everything
the
you said,
odds?
Mr. Anonymous, what you said, that theory of yours, and now hearing that he has a legal aid lawyer when his whole father,
I got the father is the one who pressed the charges.
He's got a legal aid lawyer. You're telling me there's no auntie who's gonna come through this time around?
Or the bail hearing, what was it about? Wasn't it supposed to be that? No, Longwe is gonna come out. Don't worry about Long. Longwe is gonna come out at the right time. What is happening, in my opinion, is just to make you feel a bit of security, to think that, we can get him there, he's there in jail. They will release him, they will not know where he disappeared to when he's needed.
And you know what the funny thing is? The funny thing is that he was subpoenaed. There's a story that we did on the channel where they said a lawyer came and gave him the subpoena to go and testify the Senzo Meyiwa trial, and he was saying how excited he was to go and testify there, and he couldn't wait, and all of that, blah blah blah. And now all of a sudden, you're stealing, you're getting arrested.
Look at how they postponed this thing, and the whole lawyer on the so-called big case of such long where TV. And your legal aid, you disappear. Where do you disappear?
And you know what the weird thing?
Legal aid disappearing.
Disappear, but his lawyer was not there. Legal aid lawyer was not there.
But I can tell you now, at the right time, when the witnesses are all done, I'm saying utlozwa because in my opinion I don't even think otherwise. But uzopuma wherever they are saying he's at. So that's it.
And here's another weird thing. Barebon Tamporo. But they are not showing the court proceedings of Longwe's case. And then Baloyi, no mention of Longwe coming to testify. He's never mentioned it before.
I don't know. Uzopum at the right time. So that he's not, maybe he's not sober. Maybe something like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Atomunye, maybe not sober and then not good to stand. You know, those things. There are a lot of things with this case, man. But yeah, now uzopum. It's not even a question of when, at the right time. And the right time is when he has to testify, in my opinion. Please like the video, guys. That's my opinion, obviously. I'm not saying that was Puma by force, by fire, by force. If you're Pumanga, if you're Pumile, if you're Wangena, I don't know. But yeah, not at the right time, the announcement, because the media is there, and the media is eating it up. So yeah.
I can see them doing the interviews with their father, but what about the court proceedings? What about that?
The media is there. So the media is there at the right time. Time. They are there within to interview the father. Let's like the video, guys. And now it's the time where you can tell us what you think. Hi guys, how do I donate from the UK? My name is... I don't know whether I should say it, but yeah. So, yeah, donating is simple. You go to... I've said it. I think I've said it. But let me put it again. Yes, donating, there's a $sign there. You press that $sign.
Yes, you press that $sign.
Then you start choosing the way you want to donate, through membership or
there's a
2 minutes. Zanzi, hello.
The way you want to donate.
But yeah, that.
Hello?
Yes, how are you?
Oh, Mr. Arno, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
Yeah, before I can continue, do you know who I call you?
Yes.
Or what I call you?
What do you call me?
You've got a name. You don't know I gave you a name.
No, I don't know.
I cannot be Mr. Data by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call you Barry White with that voice of yours.
It's not new. I've heard it from work.
When I call my friends about to start, hey, Jeff, let's switch on to Barry White singers again. So, Mr. Barry White, Emily, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah, let's laugh a little bit, man. I know people are saying you are boring by laughing, but I like it.
It's a stress reliever. It's a tension releaser.
Now, me, I enjoy that laugh of yours. I wish I could make it my cell phone ringtone, you know. As long as your laughter is not going to eat my data.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a stress reliever.
Yeah, I've got few points to do here today, man, Mr. Arno and Emily.
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, man, point one, I'm worried now about this bullet.
Yeah.
This bullet is traveling all over in a suspicious way. Remember the first time they collected it from Sipaza house. It was put in a brown envelope.
Yes.
Now we hear it surface in a handkerchief.
In a handkerchief.
That bullet. First it was in a brown envelope. Now it's in a handkerchief. I'm worried now.
Literally with a brown envelope.
It was with the brown
my thinking
envelope.
was that after they broke the seal in court to show it as evidence, they should have sealed it in front of the court as well. Yeah, but now it's in the next thing it will be in a chips box. The next thing it will be in a whatever. Maybe it's moving in a shebeen as we speak. That bullet. I don't like its movement, man.
The movement is not good.
Yeah, it's not good, Mr. Arn. Okay, the second point. You see, I don't understand how come an expert will want his work to be verified by another people. Because if you are an expert, you do your thing, you are done, you are sure of it, you process it.
Yes.
It's a pity in my line of work, I can't say what I do, but Mr. Arno, I run South Africa.
Run it.
Yeah, I run South Africa.
Run it.
Yeah, but as I run South Africa, my reports and my findings, I don't need anyone to verify it.
Yes.
I stand by it. I would rather kill me then. I don't need anyone to come and tell me, no, your findings are not right, Mr. Data, this and that, because with my experience, I'm now an expert here.
You are an expert, yes.
Yeah, I don't need anyone to come and verify my work or to check what is happening with my work. Is it right or wrong? No, I'm confident I'm an expert. Yeah, but now this expert is doing their work and saying, hey, I'm not sure what is happening. What kind of an expert is that? Now we end up having 4 or 5 people. They're talking different things, but they're experts. Someone say, I can there's a line. No. Now I'm saying, I run South Africa. I'm so confident with my work. If you're an expert, what's the meaning of expert? You know it all.
Yes, you know it all. You've seen it all.
You know it all. You don't need anyone to verify whatever you are doing, and you must stand by it. We should not even have one person saying, this is the findings that I did on my bullet, then it ends there. This is what I found, then it ends there. Then let them argue that one.
Yes.
But now it's suspicious. Expect work. I come the whole of other experts. Let's come and have a look. I don't believe that.
No.
In closing, yes. I'm still saying they are nowhere to FBI, these guys. They must not come and lie here.
Yeah.
They are nowhere to FBI. I've seen the comments. People are saying I watch too much FBI series. I like it, guys. I can't blame me for that.
Yes, they are nice. I watch them too.
It's glamour.
Let's hear what other people are saying. But in closing summary, that bullet is moving from a brown envelope to a handkerchief.
Hey.
Now there's an expert who's not confident about their work, needs some other people to come and verify. To me, that is not an expert. It's still a mafundani. And number 2, they are nowhere to closer to FBI. They must just forget it. Close that department, man.
Okay, no.
Let's rather hire Emily to run that forensic lab.
We'll run it.
Yeah,
we'll bring back
we need to run it once and for all.
I have to say, that's my piece of engagement for today.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Once and for all.
Right.
After what's happening in court, the first order of the day would be inquiring as to how Mangana got into the lab with a firearm and we didn't have it in the register.
We paused the Sarah. Mzansi, hello. That's the first thing I would do. Mzansi, hello. Say 2 minutes later.
Hi,
sir. How are you?
Yes. I'm good, and you guys?
Everything is good.
All right, we thank God. Yeah, I have some concern that I need some clarification if you guys can help me.
Yes.
Especially concern this aspect of this bullet in question. I want to find out, because I know that ever since I've been following this case, there is no time that the state has presented any evidence to show or to affirm that this bullet is the bullet that killed Senzo. Because I can't remember any evidence that has been brought to the court to confirm that it is the bullet that killed Senzo.
It was not
I don't know, or maybe I don't know what I missed it, or it has never happened.
No, it was not done.
I don't know if they say it's good, because the truth is that you find a bullet in a crime scene and you want us to believe that this bullet is the bullet that killed Senzo. Now, was this bullet sent to the lab for any kind of DNA to see because if the bullet passed through Senzo, it means there will be some kind of blood on the bullet. Was there any DNA sample that were conducted on this bullet? And then the gunpowder residue from the shirt that Senzo wore, was there any matching with the bullet? I mean, is there any evidence like that in the court that can really give us a true picture that this is the real bullet that killed Senzo? If there is no evidence in the court so far, then whatever these people are doing about ballistic, matching the weapon to the bullet, for me, it makes no sense. And yeah, for me, it makes no sense. And if this is the case, I think I want to say, like I've been saying, that this case of Senzo is showing the failure of the South African police. It's showing the level of incompetence, the level of professionality of the South African police. I'm sorry to say so. I love South Africa. You know that I'm not a South African, but I love that country. I've lived there for 10 years. I love the country. I love the people. I've lived in South Africa for 10 years. I left South Africa before coming to the States. So I love the country. My friends, most of my friends in South Africans are South Africans, you know. So,
no,
yeah,
we hear you. You're criticizing from a good heart.
Yeah, this case is really showing the failure of the South African police. Like I said, from the very first day of this case, the police blundered. They made a very big mistake, and all along now they are trying to correct the mistake that they did from the first day of this crime. But in the case of doing that, they are committing more error. So I believe that the state is watching. I believe that the authorities are watching, are following this case, and they will do the right thing as long as this case is concerned. Because for me, if you ask me, I'll tell those guys, those 5 accused or 4 accused, as long as this case is concerned, I will tell you they know nothing about this case. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's my humble opinion.
Thank you.
So I pray that the authority will react, because they are just wasting taxpayers' money. If you want to ask me, they are just wasting South African taxpayers' money on this case. They should go after the right persons for this case.
Yes.
Thank you, guys, and God continue to bless you for the good work.
Thank you. Stay blessed too.
God, guys.
Right. Hi, Mzansi Reality Family. Advocate Mnisi did a good job today, and the state advocate Baloyi now comes with his monkey tricks by saying he no longer called the right. Hey, Mzansi, hello.
Molo angakunjani?
Siyaphila mfethu njani?
Siyaphila. Namolo njani?
Siyaphila njani?
Siyaphila. Sothetha indawo ezimbini ngesixhosa.
Hayi, akunankinga mfethu shaya khona.
I-bullet ye-9 mil ayibinayo i-ditch because it's very short. I-bullet ye-revolver neye-rifle, they have a ditch because are longer. Then, number 2, i-bullet ye-9 mil, I don't know if umane silver. It's only the cartridge is silver.
Yes.
We hollow point bullet.
Yes.
But the bullet itself, it's gold or it's a copper.
Yes. Yes.
No silver. You can go anywhere. Revolver is very strong. Look at the wound of a deceased. In 9 mil, never even you. With close range, you can't do that. Front through the back, never. It's only the revolver is capable to do that. Normally, that is container.
Yeah.
If someone who shot outside in a container with a 9 mil, just waste his time.
Yeah.
But if he shot through with a rifle or a revolver, those bullets, they kill the people are inside in a container. So they out Kulento by that. The reason why now the defense, they have that. In the Smulele namhlanje umshololo, he was in court.
Yeah.
If she was in court, the case today is supposed to be finished.
Why do
the
you say
bullet,
so?
Le ayina records zaselebo ayina nicks, only semachefini nje kanjwana esithubeni elinye ilanga ikhitshwe kwi-brown envelope ukuthi nansi le bullet elinye ilanga iphathe there is no record.
Yeah.
Even ubhuti lo uSerero xa ezawuverifya umsebenzi we-colleague yakhe, where did she he get the documents because ayaziwa elab lagan uzifumene phi document zokubhala phansi ba 1 2 3 4 uyifumene phi because iprintwa yi-system xa ikhuphela kulo muntu uzosebenza ngayo yena uyenzelwe ngubani iform the supporting document. Thank you tatam lala kamnandi enkosi kakhulu ngale evidence uyivezileyo yona injengoba uyivezile.
Siyabonga.
With a naked eye you can see the difference. It's totally different. How much more with a microscope?
Yes.
The reason why a ballistic expert of the defense, he shoot other tests with other gun. He show them those things that look the same, but the problem is those striation. Manje ama-defense athi mina zange ngiye esikoleni se-striation mina ngazi iphethini kuphela manje uzothini lo muntu usapotani. Thank you baba.
Siyabonga kakhulu. Siyabonga. Yes. Emily, should I finish reading?
Yes, please.
Let's see. Look at me. Just want to finish. So, Monkey tricks by saying he no longer called the 3-gun expert, and the defense counsel objected it, saying that they agreed with the state to bring those gun experts because they knew there was never such arrangement. I told you, there are people that you can ambush. There are people that you cannot ambush in South Africa. We know. Do I need to explain more?
There are people you can't ambush.
No, there are people,
they exist.
There are people who value their families, and also you can't threaten them. Yeah, you can do it to us. It's okay, but not to certain people. And immediately when they said certain people are left, and I knew for sure that it's gonna be a hard one to come by. How do you go and fetch someone who's hunting for bugs there, dealing with proper meat, fresh meat, to say, hey, come back here and testify? What are you giving me, $1 million? It's not easy. So, yeah, guys, let's hear what you guys have to say. But if you don't have anything to say from now on, someone is saying, hi, Mr. Anonymous and Emily. It is sad to see the people who were supposed to make the law are the ones who are breaking the law. And those also who are the lawmakers are promoting crime, which is destroying the country even more. Yes. But
said indeed.
I want to ask you something.
Okay.
With GNU, we said there might be a bit of a shift. Do you notice the chaos?
I am.
The chaos with certain people moving or being moved from certain position. There is a less assurance. There's less assurance than before, in my opinion. There's a lot of chaos in trying to close the loopholes. Like there's a lot of chaos that is currently happening, and that can only spell one thing: the change of the cabinet and everything. Because we did say that maybe this case might be having some element of politics in it. So the change of cabinet was very crucial. Even though it didn't change that much, but if it was more, how much more? What would have happened if it was even bigger than this on a scale? That is me. I think that is where I close, guys. And thank you. We appreciate you. Like the video as I call your name if you haven't. Mamelo Skunana, our member. Thank you very much, Mami. Thank you. Sizwe 18. Thank you. Saying they must now change the JP. Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean it's my opinion in any case. Busani
Someone on Twitter says, I don't know how to explain it to people that the JP is not answering emails, and then they put a screenshot. of what happened after they send an email.
What happened?
They get that automatic response to say thank you for sending this email. They don't want to be responded to.
They are bigger than they. Busani Sibanda, let them change. Maybe they will get to Gininda's door. Allegedly. Spiwe Ingwane. Yo guys, as for the judge, Fagazile can't hold back his hate towards the accused, but what can we say? That is alleged. And Laura, who is next? Who is the next witness? Man, don't hold your thinking. You might be seeing someone to come and verify more, something like that. I think you might be seeing a verifier. Yeah, because remember, I know you are anticipating Mr. G. No, Mr. Kininza is not coming as yet, in my opinion. I don't expect him tomorrow.
You don't expect
it's a short
subsequent
notice.
To the effect
Subsequent
that
to the short notice, I don't think he might be there.
Subsequent to that.
To me, thank you very much for being with us. Shanji Wesbanda, thank you. Tobeka D, our moderator, thank you for being with us. Two, thank you for being with us. Siba, thank you for being with us. Let me see. Lindan Dube, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. Brian Stolley, thank you. Colin Vavidal, thank you for being with us. Fiso Sindane, thank you. We appreciate you, a member. Busani Sibanda, I think I've mentioned you. Thank you for being with us. Busison Lovu, they said that there was no DNA found on the bullet. Senzo's DNA, that's it. Yeah, that is it. Hey, I remember. Hey, we are from far, man. Some of these things is like you remember them as you go. Linda Kwebane, thank you for being with us. That is Tantandlovu, thank you. Our member. Yes. Lucas Nkos, thank you for being with us here and making sure that you like the video. But guys, continue to like the video as we continue to look for people that we haven't mentioned here on the register that are always here. Ruth, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. Madota Marau, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you, member. Olisiwe Sandy Siwe, thank you for being with us. Continuing looking for Debello. Yeah?
Bello, yes.
M, our member, thank you for being with us. Lumulim, as long as I'm in chat, thank you for being with us. We just go up, because some people are repeating themselves here. Hey, Busani is here. Boitumelo, thank you. Vusutando, thank you. We appreciate you. And thank you again for contributing. Mami Funeka, thank you for being with us. Oh, there's two Mamis now on the chat. Mrs. K, thank you for being with us. Gavinson, thank you. Modley, thank you for being with us. I appreciate your contribution. Thank you again for being with us. Ntando, thank you. Samora, thank you. Bini, thank you. Deboho, thank you. Tools I've mentioned to you, our moderator. Yeah. Hey, Lungwane. I'll read your name tomorrow. Net, thank you for being with us here. I know that you are busy. Busiso Mhlongo, thank you. And thank you for your contributions, Busiso. Remembering from the bar. Remembering backyard mechanic, thank you. Chukuana, we appreciate you. Let me go down and see people who have just posted now and then say Tembelani Kanya, thank you. Yes, Mamelo, bye. We appreciate you, Colin and Charlie. We appreciate you, Sibanda. We appreciate you, Vusutando. Peter Mnisi, thank you for being with us. And Smangele Mnisi. Hey, Mnisi. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. And yeah, that's it. Thank you, everyone. And that's a bye. Please remember to like the video on your way out. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.